Let's discuss the 5 transporting points. HC point, heart 3, SHAOHAI, lesser C. Location with the elbow flex, this point is in a depression between the ulnar end of the transverse cubital crest and the medial epicondyle of the humerus. How to find this point should be located with the elbow slightly flexed and the forearm in a supinated position. Find the ulnar end of the transverse cubital crest and palpate towards the medial epicondyle of the humerus. Heart 3 is located in a depression approximately midway between P3 and the medial epicondyle, or with the elbow fully flexed. Heart 3 is located directly at the medial end of the transverse crest. Located in the same level are P3 ulnar to the tendon of the bicep muscle. Lung 5 radial to the tendon of the bicep muscle, and LI11 at the radial end of the crest. Needling 0.5 to 1.5 June obliquely in a distal or proximal direction or vertically towards LI11. Actions indication: transforms phlegm, clears heat with the heart, calms the shen, opens the channel, and loop vessels. Special features: HC point, water point, important local point, important calming point. This point is used mostly to drain heart fire or clear heart empty heat. It has an important calming action on the mental level by clearing heart fire, and is indicated for anxiety and mental restlessness. It is also used as a local point to remove obstructions from the heart channel in the painful obstruction syndrome, atrophy syndrome, or sequelae of heart stroke. The lesser yin C of the Xiao here clearly refers to Xiao yin, that is lesser yin, to which the heart belongs. It is for this reason that the character Xiao recurs in the point heart 8 and heart 9. It removes obstruction from the channel, heart pain, fullness of the chest, pain in the axilla, pain in the elbow. Calms the mind in manic behavior, inappropriate laughter, mental restlessness, anxiety. Clears heat in red eyes. Heart 3 is the HC and water point of the heart, lesser yin channel. Hence the name SHAOHAI, lesser C. It has 3 main spheres of action. Firstly, it is able to calm the spirit, transforms phlegm, and clears heat, being indicated in such disorder as mania and laughter, epilepsy, tongue thrusting, where the tongue is repeatedly thrust out of the mouth like a snake's tongue, and poor memory, as well as other manifestations of phlegm such as vomiting of foamy saliva and scrofula. Clinically, however, it is less used for this purpose than points such as P5, stomach 40, SJ10. Secondly, as the water point of the heart fire channel, heart 3 is able to drain heat from the head, manifesting as redness of the eyes, erosion and swelling of the gums, and toothache accompanied by chills and fever. The third and main clinical application of SHAOHAI, heart 3, however, is in the treatment of various disorders of the heart channel in the upper limb. It is an important point for numbness and trembling of the arm and hand, and disorders of the elbow. According to the classic of Jade Dragon, it is indicated for fullness of the chest with agitation of the heart accompanied by numbness and difficulty in raising the shoulder and arm. In the treatment of atrophy disorder and hemiplegia following windstroke, points of yang min channel, which is abundant in qi and blood, have long been emphasized. Clinical practice has demonstrated, however, that better results are obtained when some points from yin channel are also selected. Due to the important action of heart 3 on disorders of the whole arm, it is often stimulated by through needling from LI11 in the treatment of these disorders. Little c as HC and water point helps to clear heat, which means it also calms the mind and spirit, as the heart is adversely affected by heat and so it can help in epilepsy, insomnia, or eczema, depression, mental retardation, or hypomania, whether the condition is one of excess or deficiency. Regulates the heart, regulates chi and blood, calms the spirit, strengthens the brain, clears heat. SC points are where the chi of the meridian unites and goes deeper into the body. As a SC point, it can smooth the flow of chi and blood in the meridian and dislodge pathogens, so it can be used for B syndrome. Removes obstruction from the meridian, moves stagnation when there is pain in the chest or arm. Local point for contracture and pain of the elbow after stroke. Water point is the antique autumn point first aid exhaustion. This point is like a reservoir of vital energy and is commonly used to transfer chi from the kidney to the heart via the KISS cycle. As the water point, it controls fire and helps to soothe and calms the heart if a patient is agitated, overheated, restless, having difficulty sleeping, or is exhausted. Consider where there is loss of voice, hesitant speech, or forgetfulness. This point helps in keeping our consciousness clear. Thank you for your attention.
Now let's discuss triple burner 3, ZHONGZHU, central islet, a shoestring point. TB3 is located on the dorsum of the hand in a depression between the 4th and 5th metacarpal bones, proximal to the metacarpophalangeal joints. TB3 is located at the junction between the heads and shafts of the 2 metacarpal bones. How to find? The hand should be relaxed or a loose fist should be made. Palpate from the metacarpophalangeal joints along the groove between the 4th and 5th metacarpal bones towards proximal. TB3 is located at the widest, deepest point of the groove, slightly distal to the metacarpal joints. Located in the comparable positions are EXUE8 between the 2nd and 3rd metacarpal bones, SI3 on the ulnar aspect of the 5th metacarpal bone, and LI3 on the radial aspect of the 2nd metacarpal bone. Needling 0.5 to 1 tsun vertically or obliquely in a proximal direction. Actions, indications, benefits the ears, clears heat and drains fire, clears head and eyes, opens the channel and lumen connecting vessels, alleviates pain. Special features, shoestring point, wood point, tonification point, one of the most important distal points for any disorder of the ears. Some of the actions of TB3 are basically the same as those of TB2. That is, in clearing heat from the head, benefiting the ears, treating the lesser yang patterns, and removing obstructions from the channel. TB3, however, has some additional functions, and in particular, it subdues liver yang. It can therefore be used in liver yang rising headache, especially when the headache is on the temple. TB3 moves qi and eliminates stagnation. Due to its relationship with the gallbladder, within the lesser yang, and between this latter organ and the liver, TB3 indirectly affects the liver, so that it can be used to eliminate stagnation of liver qi, manifesting with hypochondrial pain, depression, and mood swings. On a psychological level, it moves qi and lifts depression deriving from stagnation of liver qi, particularly in combination with 220. It is extremely effective in lifting the mind when a person is depressed. TB3 clears heat in the head, so it's good for redness and pain of the eyes, itchy face, red face. Regulates the lesser yang for febrile disease, alternation of feeling of cold and feeling of heat, malaria. Benefits the ear, tinnitus, deafness, earache, subdues liver yang, headache, dizziness, headache on the temple, removes obstructions from the channel, inability to flex or extend fingers, redness and swelling of the arm. The ZHONGZHU channel both encircles and enters the ear, and ZHONGZHU3 is one of the most important distal points for treating ear disorders due to any pathology. Tinnitus and deafness may be differentiated into 6 main patterns: attack by exterior pathogenic wind, uprising of liver fire or liver yang, obstruction of the ear by phlegm damp or phlegm heat, kidney deficiency, spleen and stomach deficiency, traumatic injury or exposure to sudden or persistent loud noise. ZHONGZHU3 is particularly suited to treating the first 2 patterns, exterior wind and liver disharmony. This is because, like most distal points of the ZHONGZHU channel, it is able to expel exterior pathogens. And also as the wood point of the ZHONGZHU channel, it can assist in descending liver fire or liver yang, which have transmitted to the Shaoyang channel. Due to the intimate relationship of the ZHONGZHU channel with the ear, however, the application of ZHONGZHU3 extends to the treatment of any pattern of tinnitus and deafness, especially when due to excess. ZHONGZHU3 is equally important as a distal point in the treatment of earache, otitis media, and blockage of the ears following a head cold. In blockage of the ears during or following flying, ZHONGZHU3 may be massaged or needled, whilst the patient pinches their nose shut and attempts to blow through it. According to the classic of difficulty, shoestring points are indicated for heaviness of the body and pain of the joints. ZHONGZHU3 is an important point to circulate qi of the channel and is indicated in the treatment of pain of the shoulder and elbow, pain of the spine at the level of the heart, and numbness of the forelimbs and inability to flex and extend the fingers. As the shoestring point, it can regulate the interior and exterior and help dispel external pathogens for problems associated with wind-like headaches. As a shoestring point, it absorbs pathogens and helps harmonize the qi in the treatment of illnesses which come and go, the fevers. Shoestring points are indicated for heaviness of the body, so it promotes the flow of qi in the body and helps to clear damp in particular. ZHONGZHU 3 is the wood point, tonification point, shoestring, antique summer point, warm joy point, first aid point for exhaustion. This point brings the essence of wood to the fire. As the mother point, it has the natural ability to control qi within the meridian, can be helpful for lack of articulation, and thus a lack of ability to grasp things of the hands and fingers, to a lesser extent the wrists and elbows. Consider for numbness of the fingers. For fevers and emotions that rage and then subside, lack of balance and control. The Ling Shu refers to tribal heater as the central river that protects the spirits from perverse influences because of its association with defensive Wei Qi. As a distal point, it can be used to good effect for neck, shoulder, eye, and ear disorders. Has a connection to the area of Du 20, and thus both points can be considered for raising the spirits. Thank you for your attention.
Let's discuss the extra point. Zhongquan posterior spring EX UE3 Heding Cranes Summit EXLE2. Location on the dorsal aspect of the wrist joint, space, dorsal wrist crest, radial to the tendon of the exterior digitorum communis muscle. How to find, place the patient's arm in a relaxed pronated position, as the location of the dorsal wrist crease can vary. The joint space between the proximal draw of carpals and the radius ulna provides a more reliable point of reference. By moving the wrist in a relaxed way, you can easily palpate the joint space. Locate EXUE3 in the joint space radial to the tendon of extensor digitorum communis muscle. The tendons become more pronounced by moving and overextending the three medial fingers. TB4 is located at the same level, ulnar to the tendon of the extensor digitorum communis muscle. Needling vertically 0.3, 0.5 tune. Actions indications harmonizes the qi flow between the upper and middle burner. Location in the center of the upper border of the patella. How to find? This point is best located in middle with the patient's knee slightly flexed, knee support. Locate the midpoint of the upper patellar border and there locate EXLE2. Needling vertically 0.5 to 0.8 tune. Actions, indications, benefits the knee joint. Indications, pains, knee wind, swelling and pain of the knee, leg, qi, weakness of the knee and leg. Commentary heading is a valuable secondary point in the treatment of disorders of the knee joint and is often selected in combination with such points as CN, MNLE16, Spleen 10, stomach 34, GB34, spleen 9. Thank you for your attention.
Let's discuss SI5 or small intestine 5 Yangku. Jing River Point. SI5 is located on the ulnar aspect of the wrist at the level of the lateral joint space. How to find? By moving the wrist in a relaxed way, the wrist joint space can be palpated on the ulnar side. SI5 is located directly distal to the styloid process of the ulna on a line running along the ulnar border of the hand and continuing to the wrist. Located on the same line and distal to the prominence of the pisiform bone is SI4. Needling vertically 0.3 to 0.5 Zun. Actions, indications, clears heat and reduces swellings. Special features, Jing River Point, Fire Point, Pen Point, 5 faces point. SI5 is a very useful for its mental effect. It clears the mind in the sense that it helps the person to gain mental clarity and distinguish the right choice to make among several. It can help a person at difficult times to distinguish what is right to do at a particular moment in life. SI5 can be used in a similar way to SI4 for channel problems, and it also helps to eliminate dampness from the knees when they are swollen and hot. So SI5 clears heat, calms the mind for manic behavior, benefits ears and eyes, tinnitus, deafness, blurred vision, redness, swelling, and pain of the eyes. It helps to discriminate between issues. SI5 is the fire and Jing River point of the small intestine channel. Unlike the more distal points of the channel, it has relatively less action on the channel as a whole. In other words, it is less used to treat disorders of the hand, arm, or shoulder, but focuses rather on the eyes, ears, and jaw. As a fire point, it is able to clear heat and swelling and soothe contraction in these regions. It is specifically indicated for swelling of the neck and submandibular region, lockjaw, contraction of the tongue in babies, tongue thrusting, where the tongue is repeatedly thrust out of the mouth like a snake's tongue, and toothache. Whilst most classical sources recommend this point for toothache of the upper jaw, Sun Simiao, the famous 7th century physician, incorporated it in prescriptions for toothache of both the upper and lower jaw. As the far point of the small intestine channel, exteriorly related to the heart channel, SI5 is able to clear fire from the heart and calm the spirit and is indicated for mania and mad walking. SI5 is indicated and appears in combination with distal points of the bladder channel for hemorrhoids. In learning the names of the points of the yang channels of the wrist, it is helpful to remember the similarity between their names. Yangshi, Yang Stream, Yangku, Yang Valley, and Yangshi, Yang Pool. As a far point and fire channel, it can clear heat and fire agitating the shen and thus calm the mind, enabling the patient to regain the composure necessary for the smooth operating and overseeing of the heart. If fire is agitated through excess or the desperation of deficiency, the mind can be too fraught and anxious to assimilate and discriminate. When this is extreme and heat affects the shen, insomnia and mania can result. Fear and agitation in children. The disorder in one's being that an imbalanced small intestine can effect disrupts the heart's ability to govern and find rest. Used for SI channel problems affecting the wrist, elbow, shoulders, and submandibular area, tinnitus. As the fire point, it can both clear heat and wind heat. As it affects the distal end of the meridian, it is useful to clear heat from the ears and eyes. Through the taiyang, small intestine and bladder, this point can be used to treat hemorrhoids. Machocha also cites it to eliminate damp from the knees when they are hot and swollen. SI5 is fire point, Horary point, 1 to 3 p.m., seasonal Horary point, summer. Jing River, antique, late summer point. This is called a yang vitality point. Shakes up and invigorates this fire official, thus bringing out its inherent potential, aids mental clarity, helps with severe tinnitus, conjunctivitis, or skin eruptions, particularly on the face, as it clears rubbish in the head area, enhances separation of pure from impure. Consider for high fevers, excessive laughter, mental instability, mind out of control, or excessive talking, or conversely, if the patient is weak-spirited, despairing, or unable to cope. For SI type people who are either excessively vague or obsessed with minutiae, helps clarify what is correct in relationships so that they can be more consistent, not off one day and back on the next. Can be effective for arthritis in the wrists and fingers. Thank you for your attention.
Let's now discuss the heart channel, primary channel. Pathway, the internal pathway of the heart primary channel originates in its related sung organ, the heart. An internal branch of the spleen primary channel reaches the heart and connects with the heart primary channel, deep yin-yin connection. The internal pathway of the heart primary channel splits into 3 branches. The first branch penetrates the diaphragm and connects with the internally-externally related Fu organ, the small intestine. The second branch ascends along the esophagus and neck region, disperses in the tissues around the eyes, and according to some authors, also spreads inside the brain. The main branch runs from the heart to the lung and descend again to emerge in the center of the axilla at heart 1, beginning of the external pathway. From here, the external pathway runs along the anteromedial aspect of the upper arm and forearm, transverses the palm between the fourth and fifth metacarpal bones, continues along the radial aspect of the little finger, and ends at the radial corner of the nail at heart 9. From heart 9, a branch crosses to the ulnar border of the little fingernails to SI1. The Han-Yin-Yang connection of the second great circuit. Clinical importance, exterior, signs and symptoms, general fever, headaches, pain in the thorax and back, thirst with desire to drink, heat sensation of the palms, cold invasion of the extremities, pain in the shoulder and medial aspect of the upper arm. Interior of Zhongquan organs, signs and symptoms, heart pain, pain and fullness in the thorax and lateral costal region, hypochondriac pain, irritability, shortness of breath, restlessness, dizziness, mental confusion. Connections of the heart primary channel. Connections with other channels, small intestine primary channel, connection, Han-Yin-Yang connection of the second great circuit. Location, heart 9, SI1 on the hand. Circulation, circadian according to the organ clock. Importance, exterior-interior relationship. Kidney primary channel connection paired according to the 6-channel theory, hand-foot pairing, Xiao-Yin-Yin axis of the second great circuit. Location, kidney, heart on the thorax. An internal branch of the kidney primary channel travels to the liver, penetrates the diaphragm and spreads in the lung. From the lung, a branch runs to the heart and there connects with the heart primary channel. Circulation, non-circadian, not according to the organ clock. Importance, above-below relationship. Spleen primary channel connection, deep yin connection. Location, spleen, heart on the thorax. An internal branch of the spleen primary channel spreads in the heart and connects with the heart primary channel. Circulation, circadian, according to the organ clock. Importance, the heart primary channel receives nutritive qi, yin qi from the spleen primary channel, first circulation of the yin qi. Connections with the other Zhongzhou system, small intestine, heart, lungs. Thank you for your attention.
Now let's discuss the heavenly star points of Madan Yang. And for today, we will focus on stomach 36 and stomach 44. The 12 heavenly star points were listed by Madan Yang during the Qin dynasty. He considered these 12 points to be the most important points of the body, capable of treating most diseases and all parts of the body. They certainly are important points, all of which are widely used in practice, perhaps with the exception of bladder 57. The 12 heavenly star points are stomach 36, stomach 44, LI11, LI4, bladder 40, bladder 57, liver 3, bladder 60, GB30, GB34, heart 5, lung 7. Madan Yang lists these points as pairs as follows. stomach 36 and stomach 44, LI11 and LI4, bladder 40 and bladder 57, liver 3 and bladder 60, GB30 and GB34, heart 5 and lung 7. Madan Yang says about the combination of these pairs of points. When appropriate, combine the points in pairs. For example, stomach 36 and stomach 44. When appropriate, to block pathogenic factors, use 1. So let's talk about stomach 36 first. Su San Li, leg 3 miles. Location, 3 Tsum distal to stomach 35, lateral eye of the knee, and 1 finger breadth lateral to the anterior crest of the tibia on the tibialis anterior muscle. How to find? First, locate stomach 35, lateral eye of the knee at the level of the knee joint space. From stomach 35, palpate 3 Tsum or 1 hand breadth down and 1 finger breadth towards lateral by placing the middle finger adjacent to the tibial crest. There, stomach 36 is located in a depression, which can be palpated dynamically. Choose the point according to pressure sensitivity, or palpate the lower border of the tibial tuberosity and dynamically locate stomach 36, 1 finger breadth lateral to it. Needling, vertically 1 to 1.5 Tsum. Moxibustion is often used on this point. Actions, indications, regulates the stomach, strengthens the spleen, transforms dampness, tonifies qi and yang, nourishes blood and yin, calms the shen, opens the channel. Special features: Hisi point, earth point, pen point, 5 faces point, lower Hisi point of the stomach, Kawu command point for disorders of the abdomen, Madan Yang point, sea of water and grain point. Main point to tonify qi and blood for general weakness, very important point. Stomach 36 is the Hisi and earth point of the stomach-earth channel. It was included by Madan Yang, the great physician of the Jin dynasty, among the 11 heavenly star points, his grouping of the most vital acupuncture points, and was indicated by him for cold in the stomach, barborigmus and diarrhea, swelling of the leg, pain of the knee, emaciation due to injury by cold, and all parasitic diseases. The glorious anthology of acupuncture and moxibustion by the Ming Dynasty author Cao Wu includes stomach 36 among the 4 command points for disorders of the abdomen. Qin ZHONGZHU of the Song Dynasty declared that by using the point stomach 36, all diseases can be treated. So this is an earth point, Horary point, 7 to 9 a.m., seasonal Horary point, late summer. Hisi, antique autumn point, point of sea of nourishment, 1 of 9 needles for returning yang, greater influential point for the stomach and abdomen, lower Hisi point of stomach, a Madan Yang heavenly star point, divine objectivity point, immunization point, so use moxa daily, center reunion, particular point of energy, vitality and longevity point, stimulates parathyroids, first aid point for nausea, abdominal disorders, food poisoning, travel sickness, morning sickness, acupuncture blockout if the needles are in the upper body. This is one of the major points in acupuncture and can be considered for many illnesses as well as for preventive treatment. It shakes up and nourishes all the officials. It is connected to all the Cs. It revitalizes all the energies. It revitalizes the entire body and mind. This point is restorative and is said to bestow longevity and endurance in old age, as well as being effective for declining eyesight at this stage in life. Strengthens nutritive and defensive qi and thus the immune system. Helps keep us free from disease. Steps up the white blood cell count when used with moxa. Helps to enhance, strengthen, and stabilize the earth. Consider for nausea or abdominal disorders. Press with thumb for 4 to 5 minutes. To bring up general energy levels, one can moxa 7 to 20 times. For any lack of diseases and disorders such as lethargy, weakness, especially after a long illness, coldness or chronic depletion of energy levels. For nervousness or extreme agitation, helps to lower blood pressure. In the classics, it was observed that when used after the age of 30, can change a person's whole way of thinking. Now, let's talk about stomach 44, nating inner court. Location between the 2nd and the 3rd toes, proximal to the interdigital fold. How to find? Locate stomach 44, just proximal to the interdigital fold between the second and the third toes. Needling 0.5 to 1 tuned vertically or obliquely in a proximal direction. Actions, indications, opens the channel, expels wind and clears heat, alleviates pain, regulates intestines, clears damp heat, calms the Shen. Special features, Ying Spring Point, Water Point, Madanyang Heavenly Star Point, major point for clearing heat from the head and face. Stomach 44, the Ying Spring and Water Point of the stomach channel, was included by Madanyang, the great physician of the Jin dynasty, among his 11 heavenly star points, his grouping of the most vital acupuncture points of the human body. So stomach 44 is a water point, Ying Spring, Antique Spring Point, a Madanyang heavenly star point. Inner courtyard, the English translation of stomach 44, a place you can retire to get away from everyone and everything when you are fed up with life and dislike the sound of the human voice. Consider this point if the patient is overheated, restless, or agitated. Emotional response to resentment, hurt feelings, or general dissatisfaction with life can give rise to overeating but never feeling satisfied. This cooling point can be effective in these circumstances. For a swollen abdomen, trigeminal neuralgia, facial paralysis, or sinusitis, often used with spleen 9. Thank you for listening.
Okay, let's discuss the Sun Si Miao Ghost Point. PC7, Taling Great Mount. Location on the anterior aspect of the wrist joint space, most distal wrist crease, between the tendons of the palmaris longus and flexor carpi radialis muscle. How to find? As the location of the wrist crease varies, the wrist joint space is a more reliable reference point. By moving the patient's hand in a relaxed way, it can easily be palpated. Locate P7 on this level between the two tendons, which become more pronounced when the fingertips are pressed together. If only one tendon is visible, this will be the tendon of flexor carpi radialis muscle. P7 is located on its ulnar aspect. Located on the same level are heart 7 on the ulnar aspect of the wrist joint, radial to the tendon of the flexor carpi ulnaris muscle, and lung 9 on the radial aspect of the wrist joint, lateral to the radial artery. Needling vertical point 3.5 tune for carpal tunnel syndrome, also 0.1 to 1 tune obliquely in the lateral direction along the tunnel. Caution, the medial nerve is located directly under this point, thus needling can cause a significant electric sensation. In this case, no further needle manipulation to avoid possible injury. Actions, indications, clears heat from the heart, calms the Shen, harmonizes the stomach and intestine, cools heart fire affecting the bladder, unbinds the chest, cools the blood, opens the channel, alleviates pain. Special features, Yuan source point, Shu stream point, earth point, sedation point, Sun Si Miao ghost point, important point for calming, main point for carpal tunnel syndrome. P7 is most important function is that of calming the mind. In this respect, it has all the same function as Heart 7 Shenmen. As a matter of fact, historically, P7 Tali has used as the source point of the heart channel. The first chapter of the spiritual axis lists P7 as the source point of the heart. P7 is more effective in women and Heart 7 more effective in men to calm the mind. P7 is also better to deal with emotional consequences of the breaking up of relationship. P7 also clears heart fire and is particularly important to use when heart fire causes mental problems such as great anxiety and mental restlessness or even manic behavior. Calms the mind and opens the mind's parentheses in insomnia, manic behavior, palpitation, agitation, mental restlessness, sadness, fright. Clears heat and toxic heat in febrile disease, red eyes, thirst, eczema of the hands, carbuncles, furuncles. harmonizes the stomach in epigastric pain vomiting. P7 is indicated in a wide variety of emotional disorder and especially used whenever heat rises to disturb the spirit, whether due to excess of any of the 7 emotions transforming into fire. Stagnation of chi, which both impairs the circulation of body fluids and transforms into fire, resulting in flame fire, which harasses the heart. The febrile heat collapsing into pericardium, basing heat arising from deficiency of yin. When the spirit is disrupted in this way, it will give rise to such symptoms as palpitation, agitation, epilepsy, mania, manic raving, restlessness, insomnia, and anxiety. Under its alternative name, Ghost Heart, P7 was included in Sun Si Miao among its 13 ghost points for the treatment of mania disorder and epilepsy. Source point, Earth point, sedation point, shoestring, antique summer point, ghost point, sexual calm point, 1 of 9 needles for returning young. Consider when the patient suffering from insecurity, vulnerability, sadness, rejection, or lack of joy, particularly when associated with relationship difficulties. As the heart point, it stabilizes and strengthens the meridian. It also affects the heart in this way, protecting and steadying it, especially at times of emotional turmoil. Consider when there is hysterical laughter or crying or where mania or nervous panic is being exhibited. This point can be effective in cases of carpal tunnel syndrome or heat in the palm of the hand. Although the name for its location proximal to 2 large mounds of heel of the hand, Great Mount is also an important and wonderfully useful point. As the Yuan source point, it brings all the resonances of original chi together with the heart protector's connection with ancestral chi, a mix of the impulse of life common to all living beings with our own particular destiny. As such, it has immense influence over the chi and blood. It is nourishing, regulating, and strengthening, and aids the good communication of the heart protector with heavenly influences, enabling the direction of life towards its higher purpose. Thus is the heart protector encouraged through regulating the mind, the animating network, to communicate the excitation and deep joy in life from heart through the body, mind, and spirit. Yuan source points have a self-regulating quality which is appropriate to balance the meridian and official. The establishing, nourishing aspect is enhanced by its influence as an earth point. It is a great point for harmonizing and strengthening when there is anxiety. Historically, PC7 was used as a source point of the heart. If the heart needs steadying from relationship trauma, this is a helpful point, or when the person has strong feeling of insecurity and vulnerability. The heart protector envelopes and protects the heart, as well as acting as the communicator of the heart. The heart protector becomes weakened through excessive emotion, blood loss, or chi deficiency. The sanctity of the heart is threatened. When there is lack of joy or deep sadness affecting the heart, this point can come and ease the shen. Its inclusion as ghost point, 1 of the 3 of the pericardial meridian, indicates the role of the PC in protecting the heart and ultimately the spirits. As the sedation point, it can clear heart and excess conditions from heart, making it a useful point for skin condition from heat and to ease the anxiety, hysterical laughter that can be experienced when heat disturbs the shen, clears heart fire. As 1 of the 9 needles for returning young, it can restore consciousness. Pathways, connections through the needle and lower jiao explain the result regulating effect of this point on the stomach. Regulates the stomach, clears heat, regulates the heart, expands and relaxes the chest, calms the spirit, clears the brain. Thank you for your attention.
For constipation, we will discuss 2 patterns: acute large intestine and stomach fire and liver chi stagnation. Acute large intestine and stomach fire. Clinical manifestations: constipation, dry stools, abdominal pain and fullness, red face, thirst, dry mouth, profuse sweating, feeling of heat, high fever. tongue red with thick dry yellow coating, pulse deep, full, rapid. This pattern corresponds to the pattern of heat in bright yang organ pattern within the 6 stages, or to the pattern of intestines dry heat within the 4 levels. Both these patterns occur during an acute febrile disease and are characterized by fire as opposed to heat in the stomach and large intestine. Fire is more intense and at a deeper energetic level than heat. Heat can be cleared outwards with the use of pungent cold herbs. Fire must be drained downwards with bitter cold herbs. The presence of constipation is one of the main symptoms that helps to differentiate between heat and fire in acute febrile diseases. Treatment principle: drain fire and move downwards. Points: TB6, spleen 15, LI 11, stomach 44, LI 4, stomach 28, and stomach 29. We use reducing method. TB6 drains fire from the 3 burners, and in combination with spleen 15 moves downwards. Spleen 15 moves downwards, LI 11 clears heat in the intestines, stomach 44 clears stomach heat, LI 4 clears heat in the intestines and moves downwards. Stomach 28 and stomach 29 clear heat and promote the bowel movements. Now let's talk about liver qi stagnation. Clinical manifestations: constipation with stools shaped like pebbles but not dry, desire to open the bowels but difficulty in doing so, belching, abdominal distension, irritability. Tongue, normal color or slightly red on the sides. Pulse, wiry. It may be wiry only on the left side. Treatment principle: pacify the liver, regulate qi, make qi descend, eliminate stagnation. Points: Ren 10, GB34, Ren 6, liver 3, TB6, spleen 15, using even method. Ren 10 stimulates descending of qi. GB34 and Ren 6 in combination move liver qi in the lower abdomen. Liver 3 moves qi and pacifies the liver. TB6 regulates the 3 burners and moves qi. Spleen 15 moves downwards. Thank you for your attention.